In this module, I'll be talking about bottom-up and top-down processing in a listening lesson. Let me give one example before we're going to talk about that bottom-up, top-down processing in a listening lesson. In the real world of listening, both top-down and bottom-up processing occur together. It depends on the familiarity of the listener with the text, the content of the text, the density of information in the text, and the type of a text, and the listener purpose in listening of that text. So let me give you an example of this. Now, there is a recipe for cooking a chicken. So an experienced cook was listening to it, and he would use his experience to come up with predicting lots of words that he's familiar with by his experience. So he would probably using a top-down processing rather bottom-up process. On the other hand, a less experienced cook would mostly using a bottom-up process because he would needing to write down most of the words he don't know it, and also would like to know about the recipes of cooking. In another example, there is an experienced driver listening to a driving rules in a new country. So he would probably using comparing his experience with the other country driving rules of a driving car on a road or traffic rules. But on the other hand, there would be a less experienced driver who have no experience, so he would probably using a bottom-up process so that he would be writing down most of the words, and he would needing a input, a sort of received data that would be only achieved by bottom-up process. So therefore, in the classroom practice for English language teachers, it's necessary to know 3 steps approach to listening. Now, the first is pre-listening, the second is while listening, and the third is post-listening. Now, number 1, in pre-listening activities, what do students have to do? They have to activate their prior knowledge. They also have to make predictions and also reviewing key vocabularies. Number 2, while listening. In the while listening, students are mostly focuses on the comprehension of the text. They require selective listening, just listening, and sequencing. Number 3 is post-listening. In post-listening, students are mostly trying to respond to the comprehension that they got it from that listening. Students require to give opinions about the topic. So combining top-down and bottom-up processing occur together in the classroom because there are certain students who got more familiar with the topic and they come up using top-down processing, whereas there are some students in the classroom that they have not enough knowledge about the schema, so they use bottom-up processing. So therefore, combining top-down and bottom-up processing are very necessary for classroom practice, in particular when you're teaching English language in the classroom.